The storm on Verath Prime came without warning. One moment, Dr. Ethan Reed was cataloging soil samples near the mountain range. The next, the sky turned black and wind nearly ripped his environmental suit clean off. "Base camp, this is Reed," he shouted into his communicator. "I'm caught in some kind of weather event, visibility 0, requesting emergency guidance." Static answered him. The wind intensified. Ethan stumbled, his equipment scattering across the rocky terrain. Rain began to fall, not water, but something thicker, almost gel-like, that coated everything it touched. He was going to die here, on an alien planet studying dirt because he hadn't checked the weather forecast. Then a hand closed around his entire torso and lifted him off the ground. Ethan screamed. "Quiet, small one," a deep feminine voice rumbled above him. "The gel rain is toxic to your kind. I am taking you to shelter." Through the chaos of the storm, Ethan caught glimpses of his rescuer. Purple skin, blonde hair plastered to a face that seemed impossibly far above him, and a body that was massive. He'd read about the Varathi in his mission briefings. A race of giants, the females averaging 12 feet tall, fiercely territorial and deeply suspicious of off-worlders. The Human Research Station had been granted permission to study the planet's unique geology, but all personnel had been warned. Avoid the natives at all costs. Apparently, the natives had other ideas. His rescuer moved through the storm with purpose, her enormous strides eating up distance that would have taken Ethan hours to cover. She cradled him against her chest almost protectively, shielding him from the gel rain with her own body. After what felt like an eternity, they entered a cave. No, not a cave. A home. Ethan's eyes adjusted to the dim light, revealing a space carved into the mountainside with surprising sophistication. Furniture sized for a giant, woven tapestries on the walls. A fire pit that roared to life as his rescuer made a gesture toward it. She set him down on what appeared to be a table, though it was closer to a stage from his perspective. For the first time, Ethan got a proper look at her. She was enormous, 12 feet at least, maybe closer to 13. Her purple skin was the color of twilight, smooth and luminous in the firelight. Her blonde hair, now dripping with gel rain, fell past her shoulders in thick waves. She wore simple clothing, a wrapped garment that left her arms and lower legs bare, and her golden eyes studied him with open curiosity. She was, despite the terror still coursing through his veins, absolutely stunning. "You are the human scientist," she said. It wasn't a question. "From the metal structures near the valley." "Why, yes." Ethan's voice came out as a squeak. He cleared his throat. "Dr. Ethan Reed, Geological Survey Team, thank you for not letting me die. I am Thara." She crouched down, bringing her face closer to his level. Even crouching, she towered over him. "The gel rain would have dissolved your outer covering within minutes. Your soft body would have followed." Ethan shuddered. "That's vivid, thank you again. You should not have been in the highlands during storm season." Her tone carried a hint of reproach. "Your people were warned. The storm came out of nowhere. Our instruments didn't detect. Your instruments are primitive." She stood and moved to a storage area, retrieving what looked like blankets. "The highlands always storm during the third moon cycle. Every child knows this." Ethan didn't have a response to that. He watched as Thara laid out bedding near the fire, creating a space clearly meant for him. "You will stay tonight," she said. "The storm will last until dawn. Traveling before then would be fatal." Okay, yes, thank you." He paused. "Won't this cause problems for you?" "I was told your people don't appreciate human presence." Thyra's expression flickered with something he couldn't read. I live alone. There is no one to disapprove. She said it matter-of-factly, but Ethan caught the undercurrent of isolation in her voice. He knew that tone. He'd used it himself often enough. Alone by choice? He asked before he could stop himself. Thyra went still. For a moment, Ethan thought he'd offended her. Then she let out a breath that was almost a laugh. You are either very brave or very foolish, small one. Varathi do not discuss such things with strangers. Sorry, occupational hazard. Scientists ask too many questions. Yes, she settled onto a massive cushion near the fire, her golden eyes reflecting the flames. I have noticed this about your kind. You wish to understand everything. Is that bad? It is. Unusual. Most species we encounter wish only to take resources, territory, power. She tilted her head, studying him. Your people came asking permission, offering trade, respecting our boundaries. That's kind of our thing now. We learned the hard way that cooperation works better than conquest. A lesson many never learn. Thyra was quiet for a moment. To answer your question, I am alone because I chose knowledge over tradition. I studied the off-worlders, your ships, your technology, your cultures. This was considered. She searched for the word. Unseemly. A Varathi female should focus on finding a mate, establishing a household, continuing the bloodline. But you wanted something different. I wanted to understand the universe beyond our mountains. Her voice carried old pain. My family found this shameful. My potential suitors found it threatening. So I built my home here where I could study in peace. Ethan felt a sudden kinship with this giant woman. I know how that feels. I took this posting because Earth felt too small. Everyone wanted me to settle down, get a stable position, stop chasing questions no one cared about, so I went as far away as I could get. And now you study dirt on an alien world. The dirt here is fascinating, actually. Your soil composition suggests geological processes we've never seen before. I could talk about it for hours. Could you? Something shifted in Thyra's expression. Interest. I have wondered about the formations in the deep valleys. The crystals that grow there follow patterns I cannot explain. And just like that, they were talking. Hours passed without either of them noticing. The storm raged outside, but inside Thyra's home, two scientists from different worlds discovered the joy of a kindred spirit. Ethan explained plate tectonics and volcanic formation. Thyra shared her observations about the crystalline structures unique to Varath Prime, structures that seemed almost organic in their growth patterns. Wait, Ethan said, scrambling for his data pad. You're saying the crystals respond to sound frequencies. That's not geology, that's alive. Thyra leaned closer, her enormous face filling his vision. I have suspected this for years, but I had no way to prove it. I have equipment at base camp, spectrometers, resonance analyzers. We could test your theory. If you're right, this would be the discovery of the century. You would share such a discovery with me, a Varathi. You made the observation. It's your theory, I'd just be providing the tools. Ethan grinned. Besides, can you imagine the look on my supervisor's face when I submit a paper co-authored with a native scientist? He'll have a stroke. Thyra's laugh was like distant thunder, deep and warm and surprisingly beautiful. You are strange, Dr. Ethan Reed. That's been established, yes. She reached out, and one of her massive fingers gently brushed his hair. The touch was feather-light despite her size, almost reverent. Strange, she repeated softly, and wonderful. Ethan's breath caught. In the firelight, with her golden eyes soft and her lips curved in a slight smile, Thara was the most beautiful thing he'd ever seen. "Thara, I have not had a guest in 7 years," she said. "I had forgotten how pleasant company could be, how pleasant the right company could be. Are we?" Ethan struggled for words that made sense. "This isn't just scientific camaraderie, is it?" "No." Her finger traced down his cheek, impossibly gentle. "It is not. I'm tiny compared to you, literally. I'm the size of your forearm. Yes, that doesn't bother you. Does my size bother you?" Ethan considered the question seriously. She could crush him without effort. She was an alien from a species that had nothing biologically in common with humanity. Every practical consideration said this was absurd, and yet, "No," he said, "it really doesn't." Thara smiled, a full, genuine smile that transformed her face. "Then perhaps we should stop listing obstacles and simply see what happens." What happened was a night unlike anything Ethan had ever experienced. It started slowly, Thara lifting him in her palm, bringing him close so they could talk face to face without straining. Then her lips brushed against him, soft and warm, and Ethan discovered that size differences became irrelevant when both parties were determined to make things work. They figured it out together, with patience and creativity and frequent laughter when things didn't go as planned. Thara was endlessly careful, her massive hands moving with surgical precision. Ethan learned that her skin was sensitive in ways human skin wasn't, that certain touches made her gasp and shiver despite their difference in scale. She held him against her chest for hours, his entire body pressed to her warmth while he explored every inch he could reach. She cradled him like something precious, whispering words in her native tongue that he didn't understand but felt in his bones. When dawn finally broke, the storm had cleared and both of them were exhausted in the best possible way. Ethan lay sprawled across Thara's stomach, using her as the world's most comfortable bed. Her hand rested over him like a blanket, one finger gently stroking his back. "I should return you to your base camp," she murmured. "Your people will worry." "Probably." He didn't move. "Don't want to." "Nor do I." She was quiet for a moment. "But I also cannot feel my legs." Ethan lifted his head. "What?" "We were enthusiastic. I may have overexerted certain muscles." A rumble of laughter shook her body. "I am not complaining, simply observing that walking will be a challenge for the next several hours. I broke a giant alien woman." "You did not break me, you merely—" She searched for the word. "Thoroughly exhausted me in ways I did not know were possible." Ethan buried his face in her stomach, his own laughter muffled against her warm skin. "I don't know whether to apologize or be proud." "Be proud." Her hand pressed him closer. "I regret nothing, Ethan, not one moment of this night." He rolled onto his back, staring up at her face far above him. Even from this angle, rumpled and tired and unable to walk, she was magnificent. "What happens now?" he asked. "I mean after you recover the use of your legs. What do you want to happen?" "I want to come back, keep talking to you, keep this, whatever this is." He gestured vaguely at their situation. "I want to write papers about crystal formations with you and argue about geological theory and then do what we did last night again, regularly. That would be scandalous by Varathi standards. I thought you didn't care about Varathi standards." "I don't." She lifted her hand, bringing him up toward her face. "I care about you, which is terrifying and wonderful and unlike anything I have experienced before." She kissed him, or the Varathi equivalent, pressing her lips to his entire body in a gesture that conveyed more than words could express. Come back to me, small one, she whispered against his skin. As often as you can, and perhaps in time we can determine what this strange connection between us might become. Partners. More than that, I hope. Her golden eyes met his. But we have time to discover the proper word. 3 hours later, Thara's legs had recovered enough to carry Ethan back to his base camp. She set him down at the edge of the perimeter, careful to avoid being seen by the security systems. Your people would not understand, she said. Not yet, but I'll figure out how to explain it. He looked up at her, this impossible woman who had gone from stranger to something profound in a single night. Same time next week, I'll bring the spectrometer. Her smile was radiant. I will bring my research notes and perhaps more comfortable bedding. Romantic. I am learning. She knelt down and pressed a finger to his chest right over his heart. Until next week, Dr. Ethan Reed. Until next week, Thara. He watched her disappear into the mountain paths, already counting the hours until he could see her again. Behind him, his communicator crackled. Reed, where the hell have you been? The storm knocked out communications. We thought you were dead. Ethan smiled, touching the spot where Thara's finger had rested. Just weathering the storm, he said. Found some shelter with a local. I'm fine, better than fine, actually. Well, get back to base. We have work to do. On my way. He started walking, his mind already planning how to requisition that spectrometer. Oh, and I'm going to need some extra field time authorized. I've made contact with a native scientist. We're collaborating on a research project. Collaborating? With a Varathi? Reed, are you insane? Probably, Ethan thought. But he'd never been happier about losing his mind. And somewhere in the mountains, a giant woman who couldn't walk was already looking forward to next week.